Hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog, Discord server, Media group, Facebook group, Twittering, Instagram. Don't even ask me about Instagram. In any case, today we got a twofer of news. So, Ken Turbovich resigns as president of Servotronics. Now, if you remember this, if you go to the tavern, tenkarstavern.com, for today, you will see the announcement that the Turbo saga appears to be over. This became interesting when the lawsuit in question that initially named Turbo also named Luke Gygax and Gary Kahn in the filing. So that's when this became part of the community. And Turbo was apparently an influential volunteer, or at least that was the accusations that were being made in the lawsuit. So, the board of Servotronics Incorporated announced its leadership change. Okay, Servotronics Incorporated announced that Kenneth D. Turbovich has resigned as chief executive officer and president and was removed as chairman of the board after a nearly 6-month long internal investigation identified grounds for his termination. While the board of directors conducts a search for a permanent replacement, yada yada yada. So basically, what it is that they say today's announcement follows a previously disclosed internal investigation authorized by the board on June 8th when Mr. Turbovich was placed on administrative leave. One day after a then employee filed a civil complaint making allegations regarding the executive's conduct. The investigation was undertaken by independent outside counsel on December 1st. Mr. Turbovich, Turbo, was informed that grounds for termination were identified during the investigation. And a December 22nd meeting was scheduled for the board to hear from the executive and consider the matter. On December 21st, Mr. Turbovich resigned as CEO and president. At his December 22nd meeting, the board accepted his resignation, removed him as chairman, and based on the findings of the investigation, determined that he committed willful malfeasance that would have justified termination. The company has not disclosed other findings of the investigation as they relate to personnel matters. So, like I said, this was something that was a bit of an albatross over the gaming hobby, over one of our major conventions. But if you went to Gen Con, especially, that's Gen Con, Gary Con, especially if you went there in the capacity of a vendor, you probably met Turbo. I do remember Turbo giving away knives from one of the subsidiaries, I think the Oneida Knife Company, of Servotronics. I don't remember why he was giving away said knives, but giving away said knives he did. So, hopefully, this means that we will not see Ken any longer at Gary Con, at least not in any official or unofficial capacity. Maybe as, like the rest of us, an attendee. Now, the next news article, and I'm sure it's going to be like, oh, why is Tenkar carrying this? All right. Because stupid is as stupid does, and I got to point out stupidity. I'm sorry. TSR Hobbies, they posted this on Facebook earlier this afternoon on 12/29/21. The trademark declaratory judgment of ownership was refiled excuse me, in the state of Washington. And you get the case number. So the case number is on the screen. You can do your own research. There are links here. I will put the links in the show notes. Okay. So now, TSR Hobbies, which I'm assuming, well, I was going to say, I'm assuming it's Justin, but the there's no, I don't see any spelling mistakes initially in any of this stuff, or improper grammar. So probably not Justin. So Michael, good job. But I do this first question, and the answer makes more questions. What do I mean? Why did TSR cancel the first filing of this trademark declaratory judgment of ownership? So this was in response to Wizards of the Coast uh, suing them or filing action in the trademark court, or in the trademark office, for saying that basically uh, TSR3, new TSR, depending on however you want to label your TSRs, the latest iteration of TSR. They basically accused TSR of fraud. So the response to that was TSR3 filing a trademark declaratory judgment of ownership, which really, when it comes down to it, was about saying who actually owns these pieces of art. Does Wizards of the Coast, can they show that they inherited this stuff from TSR? And can they show that TSR, the original TSR, had legal rights and to use this stuff? Maybe there's no paperwork for it, right? Hey, listen, over the course of 40, 50 years, things can get lost. And if that's the case, if Wizards of the Coast cannot prove, I guess, have records of the ownership, that's what TSR3 was hoping to find out. So, why did they cancel this first filing of the trademark declaratory judgment of ownership? Here's the answer. This action was taken under the direct instruction of TSR's attorneys. Now, and I'm smiling because this is just fucking stupid. These are the attorneys, or the attorney, right, Humphreys, that filed this in a federal court near his office, as opposed to the federal court where Woods of the Coast was located. Most likely because it was convenient, and they were hoping that the court would turn a blind eye to any kind of precedent and say, oh, yeah, you can just file in the court that's near you, not in the court of the respondent, right? The defendant. So they filed, and almost as quickly as they filed, they withdrew. So now they're filing it in the proper venue. And I'm smiling because it should never have been filed where it was filed. Now, I'm going to conjecture. So don't people go, oh, Tenkar lies. No, it's conjecture. I'm saying this. I don't know for sure. But I suspect that the idea was, if we are going to try to fundraise using Indiegogo, or in this case, I don't know, they didn't use GoFundMe, but they used Indiegogo. Now it's flexible funding, which means that the moment you put your money in the pot, your money is gone. Don't think you're gonna, dick around with TSR3 and go, oh, I gave $1,000, but I took it back 4 days later. No, you're gonna be like, hey, why can't I get my money back? Because it's flexible funding. Congratulations. You've now got like a lifetime membership at the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. I hope you enjoy it. Without having a lawsuit filed, it's kind of hard to say that you're taking it to the man. The only legal action they could have asked for funding for was the one that was accusing them of fraud. That doesn't really look too good. Hey, we're being accused of fraud. We'll explain to you why it's not fraud. Well, maybe our explanation doesn't really explain that, but that doesn't look good. We're taking it to the man. We are going to file suit. We are filing suit. Look, they're bullying. We filed suit. So you got to do that quickly, right? If you want to raise money, it has to be filed. So you file in the venue that is local to you and your law firm, and then you basically withdraw it. But you touch base and you have the paperwork, and people like Tenkar will go, hey, listen, I read the paperwork. Yeah, they filed. And they did. Legitimately filed. And they, again, almost as quickly, legitimately withdrew. And now it's being filed in the state of Washington. It's proper venue, which means it will play out. The question now becomes which plays out first, right? And does it really matter? This, honestly, Wizards of the Coast can burn hundreds of thousands of dollars on this without batting an eye. I'm sure Hasbro does not want to bow to anybody, you know, whether it's just tilting at windmills or Jack and the Beanstalk or any of this stuff. They're not going to bow to somebody they feel is abusing them. I don't see any of these suits getting going away unless TSR blinks. What will make TSR blink? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Hey, that's a question that somebody, the official news source of TSR, can ask them. What will make them blink? I'm curious. In any case, that's the news of the day. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I don't know what we're doing New Year's Eve. There is no live stream on the schedule because it's the fifth Friday of the month. And the fifth Friday of the month, when those happen, we don't have a live stream scheduled. Might we still doing? It is possible. I couldn't tell you. Maybe. If not a live stream, there'll be a regular episode up. The year-end recap. Folks, as always, we are in the midst of the world of the pandemic. We are now in Omicron. Use your common sense. Right? I'm not saying get vaxxed, don't get vaxxed. I'm not saying wear a mask, don't wear a mask. I'm saying use your common sense. Talk to a medical professional that knows your medical history and be guided. Really. What more can you ask for? Right? On that note, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. And God willing, I'll be back again tomorrow. All right, folks.